I'll be featuring local artists and the story behind the hits, shows in the area, as well as new songs that make you want to dance. It's Dance Time in Texas with DJ Mike on Lone Star Community Radio, 104.5 KCZW and 106.1 KZCC, Conroe, Texas, or online, irlonestar.com.
Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Hey, what is up, Conroe? This is Rick TRC. You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KZZWLP Conroe and 106.1 on KZCCLP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Glad to be here today. We're toasting. That's right. It was cool.
Nice after this crazy weather that we had blow through. But it wasn't nearly as bad as they were expecting it to be, and definitely not as bad as our neighbors up north got it, and our neighbors to the east of us as well. New Orleans got it pretty rough, and if you haven't checked out all the crazy video that's out there of all these storms, but yeah, it did come cool for a bit, and now it's gonna warm up.
It did, and it's supposed to get up to 85 by Monday.
85. Oh, I just heard low 80s. 85 by Monday.
Well, I don't know. I know. Jim was reading the news to me.
Oh, well, that's what the intern does.
That's what the intern does.
Anyway, welcome to Toast the Town with Christy and Mel. It is the hump hour of hump day for this crazy week, and it is another crazy week. We've been a little bit busy, and of course, we're going to talk about one of the reasons why everything in my house is
upside down.
Upside down, yes, even more so than usual. But, there's so much going on in the news. I know that we've been keeping up with things that are going on, and so honestly, hump day just kind of snuck up on me.
Yeah, well, I need Friday to sneak up on me.
Yeah, amen to that. But for those of you that have never tuned in to Toast of the Town with Christy and Mel, just a little heads up. We like to talk about mostly the best here in Montgomery County and our surrounding communities. Today we're going to talk about the best of, but we're also going to talk about just some things in the news because there's so much going on around us. And, one of the things that we always talk about is, how much of it is, hey, look over here because this is going on over here and you're not seeing it. And there's a lot of stuff in the news that's not showing up front and center.
Absolutely.
But,
there's to do a quick rundown. We've got lots of family stuff going on with that little thing they call the Montgomery County Fair.
That little thing called the Montgomery County Fair.
Do a thing.
Yes.
Yeah, get ready to do a thing with your family. And then we've got, as you and I are involved in politics, we've got the city of Conroe has their elections that are the elections are not till May the 7th, but
they've got
the campaigns are going on. And then, of course, we've got runoff. That's ours is over in Jefferson County. But and then we've got things going on for next fall in politics. And then aside from that, we have families of our own. And people that want to take vacations and family rides.
Oh, that sounds fabulous. I think I'll do that.
It does.
At some particular
point.
At
some point in the future.
Got a few things going on. Exactly. So what do you want to touch on first? Do you want to do fair stuff first?
Let's do fair stuff. Well, let's do happy. Yeah, fair.
Happy
fair stuff.
So first of all, for those of y'all that aren't familiar with the Montgomery County Fair, it's been going on just a wee bit about, I don't remember. I had all this information pulled up, but this is the way my brain has been. But there's so much going on, and it kicks off tonight with the Conroe Area Chamber of Commerce is having their Fun After 5 out at the fairgrounds, and it is the official kickoff party of the Montgomery County Fair.
You just broke a rule right off the bat.
What was that?
It's the Lake Conroe Chamber of Commerce.
Yes, you're right. my failure. And this is the 65th annual Montgomery County Fair and Radio. So if you don't have anything to do tonight and you want to come out and see a bunch of people
it'll be
that are in
fun.
the community, it starts from 5, goes till about 7. Sometimes it lasts a little bit longer than that. But it is a great time to kind of come out and see everybody and learn about all the things that the fair has coming up, because there really is so much going on. I've got the whole calendar in front of me and everything. But I thought these numbers were really, really interesting. So the Scholarship Trail Ride program, which began in '93, they have given over $2 million in scholarships to Montgomery County youth, which is pretty amazing. But in the past 29 years, just the livestock auction alone has earned just under $20 million paid back to the youth of Montgomery County.
Wow.
And if you don't think that impacts not only our local economy, but also these kids and what they go on to do, you're vastly mistaken. But I also, one of the things that I love about the fair in its entirety is the way that it really brings all of the different segments of Montgomery County together, because we are scattered out a little bit.
Sure.
We all kind of have our different personalities. We've talked about that from a political sense, but also just from population sense. And it really, it brings everybody together.
Sure.
And it's funny because some people don't really give a lot of thought that they're kids that go to the Woodlands High School and College Park High School, because they're, obviously not as rural as, say, like Caney Creek or New Caney. But they are showing in the fair too, and I think it's such a cool opportunity for everybody to come together.
It is, and the kids, 106 years ago. Well, it's only 65 years old. So, but when we used to go to the fair, we were rural rednecks, so to speak, and it was fun because everybody from all of the schools, everybody was the same during that week. Nobody knew what they were doing. We all acted like we did, but nobody knew what they were doing, and we all enjoyed ourselves. It was fun. It was lots of fun.
Yeah, it's a good time. And so we have the kickoff that's going on tonight, and then we kick off on Friday with Sunshine Day, which is a day that's close to both of our hearts. But it's such a great time for our special needs population to come out. They get to enjoy the fair. They get to have lunch. They get to go to the petting zoo. They get to do all kinds of fun stuff. And they have their own shows, if you will, contest shows. And they win cash prizes, which is fantastic, because who doesn't like cash prizes? But that's kicking off on Friday, so that's going to be obviously a really great time. And then Friday night, we go into the first night of PRCA Rodeo. Ooh. Which is really exciting. And after the show at approximately 9:30, Cody West is going to be giving a live free concert performance right outside of the fairground of the livestock arena. Yeah. And then Saturday kicks off all kinds of fun stuff. So this is the reason why my life is crazy, because Friday and Saturday are turn-in days for all the non-livestock entries. And so my kitchen is about to look like it exploded. I think between the both of them, we have 8 different goods that we will be submitting into the fair for competition this year. So
awesome.
Sure. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. So, like I said, if anybody's really expert at cleaning up kitchens, come over to my house on Saturday.
You really, we need some interns. You should have a team that comes behind you in between projects.
I mean, typically that's what 16-year-olds are for, but they're going to be the one destroying it this time. But also, I want to invite everybody to something that's a little bit near and dear to my heart this year, especially. So, Montgomery County Fair Association crowns their Montgomery County Fair Queen every year on Saturday night of the rodeo. And this year, my daughter is involved in it, which is really exciting. And she, along with 21 other fabulous young ladies from all over Montgomery County, are competing for the title. And it's what's been such a great experience for me as a mom is seeing the kind of competition that they have put together. It really is such a camaraderie, friendship building, positive, girls building up other girls kind of program. And it takes really spectacular leadership to get 22, 16-year-old-ish girls in a room and everything stays so positive. But it really, really has been positive. But on Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock, all of these ladies are going to be giving up and giving their speeches. And it is open to the public. So if you'd like to come cheer on these girls and see some really great talent that's coming out of our Montgomery County schools and homeschool programs. Come out and take a look. It's really going to be exciting.
Are you going to be filming that at 2 o'clock?
I'm sure I probably will be.
Okay.
But it's going to be a fun day. And then, of course, they crown Fair Queen that night in the middle of the rodeo. And the rodeo is always a great time. And then after the rodeo on Saturday night, I'm so excited about this entertainment lineup because this brings it back to the days whenever I was in high school going to fair. Sammy Kershaw and Aaron Tippin are going to be doing a free concert outside the arena. So, yeah, really exciting.
Oh, my gosh. That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm excited. I'm going.
Are you going?
I don't know. I might.
Really?
I might.
Mel might be getting out of the house.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I know. Well, you said Kershaw and Tippin. And
I know. It's exciting. But there is also a national anthem contest. I think that actually kicks off tonight. I don't know. They have it on here, and it's like on here.
National anthem?
Yeah.
What a great idea.
Yes. Isn't it wonderful?
I mean, because, number one, that's the toughest song in the world to sing. But
yeah. But if you
very cool.
if you're looking for other cool stuff to do, the ranch rodeo is on Sunday. Next weekend is the Montgomery County barbecue cook-off. They've got cornhole contest, washer pitching contest. So many cool things going on throughout the week. So you can go to mcfa.org to get all the details in the calendar, and you can register for some things. But another thing that they're doing this year that I think is really awesome in the middle of barbecue cook-off is they're doing the first annual Kids Q contest. So it's a kids barbecue competition that's happening on Saturday. It is check-in times at 8 o'clock. I would be willing to bet that probably pre-registration is a good idea because I'm going to guess that that the slots are going to fill up pretty quick because there are 25 entries per age group. So the first age group is 5 to 10-year-olds. The second age group is 11 to 18-year-olds for a total of 50 cook-off kids entries that are going to be there. But what is so awesome is it's $35 to enter per child, but they get a pit to cook on. They get all their cooking supplies. They get pork chops that they're going to be cooking. And so they fire up the pits at 9:30. They're turning in the pork chops at 10:30. They're also an open category that's going on, and they're giving out awards. And I just think it's so cool. It's like that next generation of barbecue cookers coming up through the system. So you can go to mcfa.org. If you want to go ahead and enter your child for that, just go click on Saturday, April the 1st, and you can click on Saturday, April the 2nd, and click on Kids Q Contest, and you can sign up there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's fun.
So do they get to take their own spices? Do you know about all that? I mean,
no. I'm going to guess that they probably can.
You got to make it different. You got to do that to make it different.
I mean, you got to sprinkle the magic on there.
Sure.
But
every kid's got their own degree of magic,
Absolutely.
I think that's awesome.
We went to, I thought this was a cool idea. Some friends of ours had a birthday party for their daughters, and they did a kids cook-off contest. So they had a bunch of like little old smoky grills. Mm-hmm. And they gave each kid pork chops, and they could go. They had like a whole table of seasonings, and the kids, could go get their stuff and season it up, and it was for their birthday party. I was like, that's so fun. Yeah. And it's a good time. Good time. And these kids need to start cooking.
I agree. Yes. And I used to when I had young children, I used to want to come up with the ideas for parties. I didn't want to give parties, but I wanted to, no. Here's, I had people calling me all the time. Do you have another idea? I go, yeah, sure. And I never thought of that one.
Yeah. I didn't either. It's a great idea. The best kids party I ever threw for mine was we did a beach party. We actually had sand brought in. We had this big beach backdrop, and we buried treasure in the sand so the kids could swim in the pool and go down the water slide and bury for treasure in the sand.
That's very cool.
Dig for treasure.
That's cool.
Not bury for treasure.
Yeah, I know what you're
talking about. I think I need a nap. Anyway,
you think?
So yeah, I know. But there's also live music going on all week. So if live music is your thing, if Cody West, Sammy Kershaw, and Aaron Tippin Friday and Saturday night after the rodeo. But the Horseshoe Club, which is under 10th this year, very sad. They actually tore down the old Horseshoe Club building. Many memories. I'm pretty sure that building was held together by like nicotine tar and stale beer. But they've got live music going on every night, including on Thursday they're doing a dueling pianos night, which is sure to be a great time. But it's gonna be lots of fun.
Well, that's exciting. And
Yes.
so is it going to be, are they making it larger? Are they open? Do you know what the plans are for the Horseshoe Club in the future?
Yes, they're going to be building a new facility. Obviously, they couldn't get it up in the short amount of time that they've had since tearing it down. But it'll still be a party. It doesn't require hardwood floor, just little dirt.
I know,
cold beer.
I sound like the people who we just went through an election with up north of here that you had to be born and raised in the county to be elected there this time because they didn't want anything to change. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah,
But hey, change happens.
Yeah. So, and if you want to come out too, if you're a business owner, you'd like a little bit of publicity, but you want to give back to some of these kids that really seriously work their tails off, both in the livestock and non-livestock categories. Come out. The non-livestock auction is going to be Monday. The livestock auction is going to be Wednesday. It is always a good time. It is always a great way to give back to the community, and you're helping these kids pay for college, and so
absolutely,
and pay for projects coming up too.
And I have to tell a little story.
Okay.
100 years ago again, my parents and another friend's parents decided they were going to split a steer, and they bought one of the steers that didn't. Okay, this kid was so attached to this steer that I happened to know who he was at school, and he knew who I was, and so for 2 weeks he called me. Have you tasted the steer yet? Have you tasted? Is it good? Is it good? Is it good?
Oh, that's terrible.
Well, no. He was into the process of it.
Yeah.
Okay, and the steer's name was Snuffy. And today, I'm not going to tell y'all how old I am, but I have grown children, and anyway, today we are like best friends. Brad Brumfield.
Oh, that's awesome.
Isn't it? It's a cool deal. Anyway, we knew each other, but we weren't friends, and we are still friends.
Yeah,
very close.
Well,
friends.
and that's one of the things too about going out to the fair and getting kids involved in the fair is they really do make lifelong friendships, and like I said, this this Fair Queen competition, one of my favorite things is seeing how these young ladies have been so supportive of each other, but built new friendships that they from different schools. We've got some girls that are competing that are homeschooled and otherwise may not have had the opportunity to really get to know each other, and going through this process together has really helped them bond.
So tell me about the Queen's Contest. Are there a number of them from each school? Are there a limit? Is there a limit to how many can?
I don't know if they actually do a limit on how many. I don't know that. I know that we filled out an application and we had to get a sponsor and so forth, which led us to this. But the job of Fair Queen is to represent the Fair Association in different community events and to be there to help in any way, shape, or form. And, a couple of Katie's friends growing up have had the privilege of serving as Fair Queens. And her oldest friend in the whole wide world, our next door neighbor, they met when Carly was 4. And Katie and Jackson were literally just born, is actually in the competition as well. And so they've had an opportunity to spend some time together that they haven't had to gotten in a while. So it really is. It's been a special time, and I'm looking forward to it. And whoever wins will represent Montgomery County Fair Association in a stellar way, and it will be really supportive. And it's just very encouraging. It's nice to see that. Absolutely. And they all have, you've got some that are raising animals, some that just do non-livestock, some that do a combination of both. And it's just cool because, the Fair Association really is for every kid out there. There's a way to get involved.
Sure.
And I think a lot of people don't know that. They think you have to, raise a cow or, a pig or anything. You don't have to do that. You can get involved in a lot of different ways too. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's coming up.
So it's exciting.
Yeah, it kicks off Friday.
So the really big things are tonight, but that's an adult kind of thing.
Yeah, it's an adult, come out, meet each other, that kind of thing.
Yeah, have a few adult beverages, move on.
Right.
Okay, so then Friday night, the rodeo.
Yeah, Sunshine Day Friday during the day, rodeo Friday night, followed by Cody Weston concert. Saturday, we've got a lot of the junior non-livestock. I think livestock starts moving in. Hold on, I'll check my little notes. But it's turn-in day for a lot of the baking, and the rabbit show is Saturday. The turkey show, I think maybe there might be some politicians in that, or just
I don't know.
but the Ag Mechanic Show is also going on.
We love y'all.
And then Sunday's the Ranch Rodeo, which is always great. They also do a cowboy church out there on Sunday, which is really, really cool.
Yes.
Market Lamb Show on Sunday. The adult shows are on Sunday as well. And then you've got, the non-livestock auction on Monday. You've got the horse shows and the steer shows, and then auction on Wednesday, which is a big deal. And then we roll right into barbecue cook-off weekend.
That's exciting.
Yeah. And this year, so Friday is another one of those things that I love. It's the Ag Robotics Show. And have you ever seen an Ag Robotics show, Dick? Okay. So I've judged the last couple years, or last 2 years they've done it, and didn't get signed up fast enough this time, which is really cool because the last couple of times that they've hosted it, they were looking for, we need judges.
Right.
This year it filled up so fast.
Because everybody had a great time doing it.
Well,
I remember.
And it's so interesting. It's these kids, these teams that come in, and they have to build a robot that they can program, and everybody has the same mechanism. But they have to be able to program it, and I'm talking like 4 buttons that they push that they have to use to program. And they have to compete with accomplishing certain tasks. And it's really an amazing thing to watch and see these kids work together, and it's this great combination of science and problem solving. And anyway, so if you just want to come out and watch, you can do that because they compete, I believe, starting in elementary school all the way up through high school. So it really is a fun thing to watch.
Awesome.
It's a good time. And then we go into barbecue cook-off, which is going to be barbecue, and barbecue.
Yeah, and barbecue.
And barbecue.
And an open entry or two.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Friday nights are always the big night. I had a friend of mine call me last night and say they were having a crawfish boil Friday night. So Friday night you can find everything from crawfish to fried fish to no telling.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so it's a good time.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Me too.
Yes.
Okay. So what else do we have on the list?
Well, there's a lot of other things going on in the community right now. I'm not going to lie to you, but I'm just going to tell everybody about fair because I think everybody needs to come to fair. So
well, and the other thing about that is, I mean, it sounds sort of selfish, but it's not because it is so well attended.
Yeah.
It is people that you never thought you'd see there are there.
Yeah.
People that you haven't seen in 20, 30, 40 years are there that you haven't seen, and you run into them or you might miss them, but it's huge and there's tons of people there. So
Absolutely.
Why would you go anywhere else?
Exactly. So make sure you go to mcfa.org, check out the whole calendar of events. There's literally something for everybody to come out and enjoy. Put it on your calendar. Make it a point. Bring the kids. They've got a huge carnival. It's a lot of fun. But there's also free stuff for the kids to do. There's the petting zoo. There's the ag barn that has all kinds of educational stuff in it. And plus, it's just fun. You can walk through the animal exhibits. You can talk to these kids and everything. It's just a good time.
Sure.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So we have what's on your list next?
Well, we have all kinds of things to talk about. I didn't know if we wanted to take a brief break in order to segue into that.
Can we take a break first and we'll move into all these other things? Thank y'all very much for being with us. Go ahead, Christy. Take us out.
If you're here in your downtown Conroe, you can listen to 104.5 or 106.1 on the FM dial, or make sure you're following us on moxieinnovative.com on our Facebook page, or you can go to irlonestar.com or the Lone Star Community Radio Facebook page and follow us there too.
Yes.
This is Toast of the Town with Christy and Mel. We'll be right back.
Did you know that there are over 153 million orphans in the world today? The sad reality is 99% of those kids will likely never be adopted. Core Love is an organization right here in Conroe that takes care of orphan children in Haiti, Honduras, and India. We bring the love of Jesus by providing their 6 basic needs of clean water, proper food, healthcare, education, job skills, and a loving home. Visit corelove.org. That's CORELUV.org. Will you help defend the orphan?
Second Saturday Divorce Workshop provides unbiased information to help you understand your options and move forward with your life. This divorce workshop is for you if you are contemplating divorce, in the process of divorce, already filed for divorce, or post-divorce. You will explore the emotional, legal, and financial aspects of divorce from professionals who have guided others through divorce. For more information on this divorce workshop, contact SecondSaturdayWoodlands.com or call 832-375-0900.
Welcome back, everybody, to Toast of the Town with Christy and Mel. I'm Mel, and here is Christy, the star of our show. Go ahead.
Oh gosh, can you tell? We're still getting in the swing of things from taking a hiatus for what? Forever?
6 months.
Forever?
So was it 6 months or was it more? Was it a year? How long was it, Dick,
A long time.
that we were out?
A long time. But we're back now. 8 months. Yeah.
Gosh.
I know. But we're back.
Too long.
Yeah. We're back, and if you missed it, we just recap the whole MCFA, Montgomery County Fair Association week coming up. Lots of fun stuff going on, but we wanted to do the fun stuff first, and we would clink and toast to Montgomery County Fair Association.
Yes, absolutely.
But there's still so much going on in the news, and if you happen to be doing nothing, or maybe you're on your lunch break and you wanted to turn on the TV right now, if you turned it on any major news network, you are going to see day 3 of the confirmation hearings for Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Yes.
Who is up for Supreme Court nomination from President Biden.
Right. And here's the thing. And when I hesitate to compare it to the past 2 because, they were kind of like crazy, but they were interesting. What the candidate for the Supreme Court had to say was interesting. I'm not finding what she has to say interesting.
Okay, well, I think the whole process is incredibly boring. Now, I understand the importance of finding somebody that's competent and capable to sit on the Supreme Court. And I get it. But for real. Like, I'm sitting there watching them yesterday, and they're asking these questions. And some of the questions are just ludicrous. Right. And they keep bringing up, the last couple of nomination hearings that we've had. And they keep referring to, they raked them over the coals.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, people, can we
Stop.
just move forward?
Stop.
Like that, she had.
It was a circus.
Well,
It was a circus
they're
before.
asking her literally, well, did you know that this is what Joe Biden said about the last nominee? And she's like, no. Well, what do you think about that? And she goes, I don't know. You just told me about it.
Right.
Like, seriously, I can kind of understand her frustration.
No, and I understand her frustration, but I also understand that there are some legitimate questions being asked.
Sure.
And she's not answering them. She's like I said a while ago, she's adding that to the sentence a lot. She's stretching the answer out, but she's not saying anything.
Right.
And I
Of
think
substance.
yes, right. And I think that's sad. Because I think she ought to be able to say what she's thinking,
right,
without fear of retribution of any type.
Right.
Now maybe she's not selected. But if she really believes that, we need to know it, and therefore, if somebody doesn't want you up there and they vote against you, and therefore you don't get up there, then that's the reason for the process.
Right. Well, and obviously, she has quite a resume.
Yes.
She's a bright woman. A couple of the things that I know
From an awesome family, from what I understand.
That they have brought up is they think that she's soft on crime, particularly child pornography cases. I've also heard that some of that has been quite circumstantial. But seriously, and I pay attention to this stuff. I care about this stuff. It's interesting to me. Mm-hmm. This hearing has been completely dull and uninteresting to me, and because it seems like they keep saying the same things, they keep clouding it, and I guess they're trying to shake her up or see if she'll get emotional, or maybe they're trying to see if she's going to change her story. But it was ridiculous.
Okay, I agree. Except there's one point. What's the girl from Tennessee? Lady from Tennessee. Senator from Tennessee, Blackburn. Okay. She says, "Can you give me the definition of a woman?" And okay, maybe it's not a biological definition, but a woman is a female, as an opposite of a male. She could have said anything.
Right.
No, I can't. I'm not a biologist. Okay, can you just give us a general idea of what a woman? Not today. I'm not a biologist.
Okay, well that's okay. I missed that part. That's a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, and the point was, how are you going to rule when it comes to these things, like what's going on,
right,
in the NCAA? So I really think come on, just tell us what you think.
Yeah.
Just tell us what you think. And if it's, if they criticize you for it, they criticize you for it. You gotta have thick skin. Tell us what you think.
Absolutely.
Don't be offensive. Don't hurt people's feelings.
Right.
Don't, just tell us what you think.
Well, and this is, so here to me is the irony in that too. Because one of the things that Biden said was whenever there's an opening, he's going to nominate a black woman for the Supreme Court. Now, I understand why he said that. I do absolutely agree that it should just be the most qualified person, male, female, whatever color, whatever. Because I don't think differentiating it is smart. What you're doing is, pigeonholing people. But anyway, I think it's funny that he can define what a woman is, but she can't define what a woman is.
Exactly. And I think too, we did away with I'm not thinking of the right words, but we did away with hiring according to the numbers years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's not revisit
Get back to that. No, because I think it's insulting to all of us.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I absolutely agree. And, and I think that goes into one of the things that we were going to talk about was all of the controversy going on in the NCAA right now with the swimming competition. If you've turned on a TV or Facebook or anything lately, you've seen the story of Leah Thomas, who is a transgender female. She was born a biological man. Who has
was raised a biological
and was
man.
raised and competed at first in college as a biological man, and I think the best ranking that he had ever gotten was like 432nd, and now that he is competing as a transgender woman, he has now won the national championship and beat an actual female Olympic swimmer, Miss Emma Wyatt. And obviously there's a bit of controversy here.
Of course there is, as there should be.
Yeah. I read this great essay from this young lady, and I didn't write down her name, but her nickname was the fastest girl in Connecticut. And she was this amazing track star. She was breaking all these records.
Right.
And she started having to find herself in competitions where she was running against biological males. And she was getting beat by biological males. And her whole point was, look, I'm not trying to be hateful towards anybody, but there is a difference in bone mass and muscle structure and just body composition between males and females that putting them in a lot of these competitions together, it's not the same playing field.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and what they're saying is, and what the fear is that women's sports is on its way out if that's the case.
Well, and I think so. And all of these, what is it, Title IX? Is that what I'm trying to? Anyway, they have organizations built around giving women a fair shot in sports, in school, and making sure that the schools give women's sports a fair shot.
Right.
And I told a story last night, and I mentioned the girls' gym at Conroe High School. Okay, of course, this is 100 years ago when I was in school.
Right.
So the girls' gym, they don't even, not anymore.
You're true.
It's, you don't dare. And, anyway, I think that they have worked really hard to support women in fairness.
Right.
And I think the same group of people, the NCAA and these other organizations
that work so hard
are the very ones that are not standing. I don't, for one sec, this is just my opinion, people, please, and turn your radio off if you don't like it, but I don't think for one second that the NCAA, the people who run the NCAA, really think that that's fair. I think they don't want to be sued. They don't want to be challenged. They don't want to be canceled. They don't want to. Well,
and that was one of the things that I saw in this essay that I thought was a really good thing to highlight, was it's everybody passing the baton. Oh, well, we're going to pass it here, and y'all make a decision. We're going to let the Olympic Committee decide. Oh, well, the Olympic Committee. Oh, well, we're going to let the professional sports organization. Oh, we're going to let each sport decide for themselves. Because nobody wants to make themselves vulnerable to that kind of criticism. And I think it's, and I've seen some arguments on, saying that they should be able to, that transgender athletes should be allowed to compete in the division that they feel most comfortable in and feel more appropriate with, or identify with. I guess that's the correct technical term. But to me, it's very interesting because you get to that, from the people that are countering it saying they should not compete in women's sports. They're saying, you look at physical body attributes, biology, and the other side, their only argument is you're hurting people's feelings.
Right.
And look, feelings matter. I
Sure
have a
they
lot
do.
of them. A lot of times
And
they're right on here.
And you know
but,
what? They've been hurt a lot of times.
They get
too.
hurt a lot of times. But and it's a problem though. But it's that more
Right.
of this cancel culture mentality that we're learning to have to deal with every day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Did you see the meme of Howard Cosell on Facebook?
I did not.
Standing with Caitlyn, Bruce Jenner.
Yeah.
And O.J. Simpson. Anyway, it's an old picture. It's a literal picture. They're each standing on each side of me. He says, "People, you are not going to believe what I'm fixing to tell you about the future." It was hilarious. Anyway, I think that even Caitlyn, as they call her now, I have to work at this. I'm sorry. I'm old. She has even said, this is
It's
not
not fair.
right.
Right.
It's not fair. This is not, and he was an athlete.
Olympian.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think that that's a really interesting perspective, too, because I do think it's great that he's come out and said that. But, there are no transgender females that have transitioned into males that are competing.
Competing.
And they're not, and if they are competing, they're not throwing a fit because they're not winning, because they know that that's part of the advantage that they're losing going into a male sport, because bodies are different. Now, if we're talking curling or, something where it's not so much about strength and flexibility and conditioning, then I guess it could be seen a little bit differently. But I think it's going to be a debate that we're going to be listening to for a long time, because I think we're all waiting for somebody to come out and say,
what is wrong with you people?
well, yeah. But
Right.
so many people are afraid of getting their hands slapped these days, and I can't blame them.
Right.
So I guess we will see what's going to happen with the NCAA and with all of these organizations and how they're going to rule and how we're going to be moving forward in the very near future, because it's coming.
Right.
And of course, if we have a near future and not end up in World War III, where Russia seems like they're trying to take us.
Oh, bless their hearts.
Yeah. And I think too, we've talked so much about media bias, and you can look at media bias with the Ketanji Brown Jackson hearings. You could look at it with the NCAA rulings. And you look at what's happening now, and, Russia, the bad guy. But how much do we really know about what's going on over there?
Not much, because we didn't follow it ahead of time.
Yeah.
There has been a lot of graft and corruption in Ukraine heretofore, and it really doesn't. I don't know. You can look at this a multitude of ways. You can say it really doesn't matter what they've done in the past. They didn't deserve to get obliterated.
Right.
Whatever.
Well, and we wouldn't wish anything on the citizens over there.
Exactly.
That,
the people don't deserve this.
Right.
But it's just like my dad used to tell me. I love this example. He said, you can be one of the people that goes and hangs out at the bar when you're 21 and that's what you want to do. He said, but if you don't want bad things to happen, don't hang around in places where bad things might happen
That's
to
true.
you. And so if you don't want to get hurt, then don't do things ahead of time that line you up to be hurt.
Right.
If somebody's gonna get mad. So anyway.
Well, and I was sitting here and I'm looking for this right now because I wanted to find this because it really cracked me up. What was it? Last week they were talking about how, Europe is fixing to get hit with another COVID surge and that's fixing to happen. And, But now Fauci is saying, oh, hey, no, I don't think it's going to happen here. Like, we're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Because it's like, y'all pay attention over here. We're going to silence this down over here. But if we need to create, what is that that movie with Sandra Bullock, Our Brand is Crisis?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like you create the crisis because that way you can divert the attention and get, have the advantages that you need to do. And, it makes you wonder.
It does. It's, and then he'll walk on top of himself and go, well, it might come back. We need to keep
Might come back, yeah.
It might come back. We don't know.
Yeah. And, when you're sitting around looking at gas prices and you're looking at, and I saw a really funny statement the other day. You can't control the distribution and the production of oil and then say you don't control oil prices.
Yes.
And that's the big debate because you see the shift of blame going back and forth saying, look, this is all because we shut down the ability for oil companies here in the domestic U.S. to be able to pump and access these fields. And the oil companies, yes, they aren't pumping on all of these leases because they're worried that they're going to invest the money to do so and then they're going to come in and shut them down. But why in the world would we be buying oil from Russia in this particular time? Why? Whenever we've got our own reserves here. And I think it's just really so interesting. The one thing that they keep talking or that, kind of gets swept under the rug is, we've been making a shift towards greener energy, but it doesn't happen overnight, number one. Mm-hmm. Number two, you've got to have something to run those factories that are going to charge those electric cars that they want everybody to buy. Right. And, and with oil prices going up and food prices going up and the cost of all goods going up as a result of COVID and inflation and what's going on over in Eastern Europe right now, it's not like that everybody has the disposable income to go buy a new car, especially an electric one. I don't understand what the solution is that the left-leaning folks are actually trying to propose.
Well, they really don't. Gosh, we don't need to get into that political statement. I just don't think they think far enough in advance.
Yeah. Well, and it's going to be interesting to see, as Russia takes over more and more of Ukraine, where are they going next? Are they going to Poland? Where, are they going to stop? Are they going to be okay with that? They've talked about Putin's goal has always been, the rebirth of the USSR. It's just impossible to imagine going back to that. I remember when the wall came down, and we remember that time that we spent in the Cold War. But I think it's going to be really shocking to see what goes on moving forward.
Agreed. And back to where you started about, what is the history of Ukraine and all of that. It really at this point doesn't matter because as American citizens, we need to be worried about America.
Right.
And although we're concerned about the citizens of the Ukraine, and
we
are, it's horrible. We need to do what we can to help, but we need to pull out. We need to maintain just like we're supposed to as part of NATO. So.
Yeah, I think it's an impossible situation with impossible answers because there's no clear-cut solution that's going to, keep us out of a major conflict over there.
The only thing that might work, in my opinion, is if they decide to, and I'm sure somebody will tell me I'm wrong, is if they decide that cutting Putin off at the Ukraine pass, in other words, would save the rest of the world. If they feel like for sure that Russia is going to go on and they're going to move on past Ukraine, that if they use Ukraine
to contain it.
I
don't know. And I was reading a report saying that they think that maybe this is all, being used as leverage for the Iranian nuclear deal, and then where's China going to come in and what's going to happen there? I don't know. It's interesting times.
The other thing I read about China the other day was that that their strategy has changed completely. They're not about war. They're if you look back to what they've manipulated the U.S. into doing over not recent years as in Trump years, but I mean recent years
Since.
as in 20.
The last two?
Yeah.
Or
Well,
going
no,
back?
well, going back
overall.
a ways, overall, you know, they really sucked us in, and Trump came along and tried to pull us out, and did
Right.
a little bit, but it wasn't long enough. You
Right.
know, it's got to. Anyway, so I don't know, and of course, again, I'm the one that tried to keep us from getting political, so I'm gonna hush him.
Well, no, I mean, I think with everything going on, it's kind of funny how easily we've been able to segue from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, because there is an interconnection between
is.
all of them. And, you know, in kind of defined ways of thinking. Hello, political parties.
Yeah.
You know, but that kind of are disseminating the differences in opinion of
Right.
what should do. The one thing that I think, which is I think is actually really interesting, that's kind of uniting us right now, is what's going on in Eastern Europe, because we don't see that in our political landscape as far as, you know, one versus the other. Meaning, you know, it's I don't know how to put into words what I'm thinking, but you know, it's there. It's not what's going on here.
Right.
And you know, and we do feel, you know, and we're led to feel quite comfortable in our very first world way of life, where, you know, we don't have secure borders, but we have, you know, not too many aggressive border neighbors.
So I'm going to tie this all back together for you. I had a conversation last weekend with some new friends. I didn't know them before we got there, and they are in the business of selling calves to individuals, people that want to buy calves. Or actually, they sell pigs and goats too.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So livestock.
Huh?
Livestock.
Yes, exactly. So, and I said to her, "So, were you from a ranching family?" She said, "No, I spent years in the county show, our county show, showing calves." And she said, "No, I showed pigs too." Anyway, and I thought of all this, and I thought it really is all tied together. But they're doing this because they themselves are preparing for whatever may happen. They have enough generators to run the farm and ranch. They have one on their house. They have put a fuel tank in. And it's not like you don't look up and go, "Oh, those are the crazy people, the ones wearing the tinfoil hat."
No.
They are, you know, their guns are secured, but they're
prepared.
They are prepared.
Yep.
And this is what they're doing, and they're helping other people. They're making a living, but they're helping other people
Get prepared.
And
Yeah.
anyway, I just thought, oh, wow. So that's tied to the fair.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking about the fair.
Absolutely.
Let the kids know. Okay.
I know. Well, you know, and if you're sitting around and you know, you get home from the fair and you can't fall asleep and, you know, you want something to watch on TV, just turn on Red Dawn, take some notes, because I think it might be a good time for us all to start doing that. Anyway, we've got some great shows coming up in the next few weeks. And it's my fault. I let everybody down this week because we were, it's been a little bit of a scramble time, and I'm fixing to be doing lots of scrambling and mixing and baking and everything else with the kids. But make sure that you tune in every Wednesday at noon for Toast the Town with Christy and Mel. We do have some fun stuff coming up.
We do.
We have some doctors. We have some candidates. We have some business owners. We have a vast array of really wonderful people and organizations in our community.
Absolutely.
That we want to bring to you guys because
funny people, too.
and some funny people. Almost as funny as us.
Well, not
Not quite.
but okay.
Anyway.
All right. Well, we thank you guys for your time today. We have certainly enjoyed it.
Yes, absolutely. Make sure that you go to mcfa.org, download that calendar of events for Montgomery County Fair Week, and if you're out there, be sure and look for us. We'd love to say hi.